Why you still feel like you're not good enough? No matter how hard you try, you always end up feeling like you're still not good enough. Does that sound familiar? Dumela, welcome back to Healing the Inner Child with Mami Ngalai. Without wasting any time, let's unpack. Point number one, let's talk about the root cause of this issue. Childhood expectations. I know we talk a lot about our childhood traumas, everything that we've been through. I've come to realize that most of us are still children living in adults' bodies. Our thoughts, our actions, the things that we do, how we see the world, and everything in between. Sometimes it was that thing that your parents were expecting a lot from you. You're not allowed to make mistakes, be it at school, at home, with your friends, and. So you grew up with that mindset that I need to always achieve. I am not supposed to fail. If I fail, it means I'm a bad person. It means I'm a failure. I don't deserve good things. And you grow up with that mindset. Parents, we need to do better going forward. We need to stop projecting onto our kids. Yes, I understand sometimes that thing where you wanted to achieve 1, 2, 3, but then you couldn't. And you would love for your child to do what you couldn't. But being hard on them is just making things worse for them. Cause number 2, it's emotional neglect. It's actually similar to the point that I just made. Your parents were not there emotionally. They might have been there physically, but emotionally, they were not there. Your emotional needs were not met as a child. And you grew up with that, believing that emotions are not meant to be felt. They're not supposed to be felt. The moment you show emotions, you feel as if you are weak. We need to unlearn that, because that isn't the truth. Emotions are there to be felt. Comparison and shame, also in childhood, might be the cause of this. In Twana, you were compared a lot with your friends, or maybe even siblings. And just because your siblings was getting distinctions, the same expectation was imposed on you. And unfortunately, as children or as people, we're not the same. There are people who struggle. There are people who are not neurotypicals. And when it comes to academics, they struggle. Nowadays, I just love the awareness, ADHD, autism, and etc. Because we understand it doesn't mean this person handle or this person is dumb. Unfortunately, our parents didn't know about these things. They didn't understand them. To them, it was as if you are a disobedient child. You don't work hard like your sibling, your peers, and other kids. So we need to be aware of these things, that sometimes it's not that your child is lazy or they don't want to work hard. That shows up in adulthood as constant criticism. We criticize ourselves a lot as adults, especially if with mommy, you knew better. Why? But you still can't continue with this thing. Why? And we end up punishing ourselves instead of having grace, because at the end of the day, we are human beings. I'm not saying it's okay to make the same mistake over and over again, but we need to learn how to give ourselves grace. I think a lot of people are so critical with others because that's how they are with themselves. They don't know how to give themselves grace. So it becomes easier for them to also criticize others, to be hard on others. So guys, we need to realize that a lot of things begin with self. let's fix this body, let's fix this inner child so that we can live well with others. Sign number 2 is overachieving in adulthood. There are people who are just overachievers. They don't want to rest. They don't want to take a break, because the only way they find their worth is if they achieve. They keep achieving in life without realizing that as human beings, it's okay to achieve, but it's also okay to take a break. Overachievers, you guys need to be very careful. People pleasing and self-sabotaging relationships and opportunities are also signs of this. People who suffer from low self-worth do this a lot. They just want to see everybody happy. They just want to be accepted. They're not really comfortable with conflict. And sometimes they even sabotage good relationships. Because guys, in order for one to have a good relationship, they need to be comfortable with uncomfortable conversations. Conflict is part of relationship. So if every time you're going to shut down or flee whenever you're having a disagreement or conflict with a partner, then you're never going to grow. Because even in professional settings, there is always conflict. Sometimes it's not even conflict in play, but as human beings, we don't always see things the same way. So obviously, so we need to be comfortable with that. We really need to be comfortable with that. The moment you are uncomfortable with hard conversations, you need to ask yourself why that is the case. I'm not saying hard conversations are easy. However, if it becomes like extreme for winner, then that's a red flag. And I'm not bashing you or myself, but I'm just trying to make you aware of these issues that we don't really understand or even take into considerations, because they're there. We see them and we need to fix them. Perfectionism is another sign that we see in adulthood, because remember, perfectionism more with procrastination. You're not lazy, guys, just because you procrastinate. In the way chance in a perfect, and you know, step, because you're always thinking about the worst. What if this thing doesn't turn out the way I want it to turn out? Then it means I failed. Failing is also okay, guys. It's part of life. It's part of growth. That's how we grow. So we need to embrace it. Guys, we need to realize the importance of healing our inner child. Because almost each and every day, Bella, Moruna, our attention. And this thing of us going on as if we don't see what's happening is killing us. I know it's not easy, but it is doable. Let's heal the root of our issues. Let's heal our childhood so that we can become better adults. The first step in healing this is becoming aware. Awareness is very important in this healing journey. You can never heal what you don't know or what you don't understand. So the first step is being aware. Admitting admitting that you're not perfect, you have your shortcomings, there are things that you still need to work on, and work on those things while you still have time. Awareness is very important, guys. I'm not just saying this to sound smart or I could say in Bible, we need to be aware of these things and start fixing the root of our issues. And we also need to build our own self-worth. You don't find self-worth from external factors, but you find it from within. You don't find it from attention. You don't find it from your job, from your work place, from your colleagues, from your friends, from your partner. Yes, bakana ba validator, but that's not how you feel true and lasting. worth. You need to validate yourself. You need to believe that you are worth the good things in life. You may have suffered growing up. You may have been abused. But you can unlearn what you were taught growing up. In conclusion, guys, I hope you remember that you're not broken. You really are not broken. You see that feeling of I'm not good enough, that feeling of I don't deserve, it's just a wound. It really isn't who you are. And we also need to remember that most of our beliefs, they were taught. And if you're able to learn those beliefs, then it means it's possible to unlearn them. It's never too late, guys. I hope you give yourself this grace and compassion. There's no way that you will fully heal if you're not compassionate to yourself. We all fall short one way or another. So let's start healing the root of our issues so that we can have better relationships, not only with others, but with ourselves too. Because guys, we cannot keep on living as if everything is normal while it's not. Thank you so much for watching this episode. I hope it heals something in you and you realize that it's possible to fully heal in this world. Thank you so much. Bye bye.